He took the carved Asherah pole he had made and put it in the temple of which the Lord had said to David and to his son Solomon, in this temple and in Jerusalem, which I have chosen out of all the tribes of Israel, I will put my name forever. I will not again make the feet of the Israelites wander from the land I gave their forefathers, if only they will careful. If only they will be careful to do everything I commanded them, and will keep the whole law that my servant Moses gave them. But the people did not listen. Manasseh led them astray, so that they did more evil than the nations the Lord had destroyed before the Israelites. Oh, and that's another thing that I want to point out, because time and time again, in the Old Testament, under the law and such, the Lord had picked out Israel, and Israel could be such a great nation, a great representation of love, but they could also go the opposite direction and be worse than anybody if they so choose. So, and this is showing us that not only did they commit the detestable acts that the Canaanites had done in that land, and that's why they were removed, but they're going even worse. Remember, we've even passed that part where there was a time in Sodom and Gomorrah, with that story about the man going into the town, and then the people came to knock on the door during the nighttime or what have you, and wanted to have relations with everybody, and it was kind of like they ended up wanting to give their daughters, or instead, and it just was a really bad situation. And then it happens again in Israel. So think about those things. The people had strayed so far away from the Lord that they were doing exactly and more so of what the Canaanites were doing. What Sodom and Gomorrah had been completely wiped from the earth. Now Israel is committing detestable acts. So when it's somewhat of a warning to people who follow the Lord. Like, basically, when you stop putting the Lord in those things, when you continually forget about the Lord, continually forget to give thanks, continually to be humble, to continually to just leave him out of our life, how we can slowly and surely slip away from the Lord. And now, that does not talk about, we're not talking about salvation. I am a person who believes that once you really believe that you are saved, that you have salvation, because even people who do believe in the Lord, and we've read here over and over again, Solomon and David, they have slip-ups too. They have times where they sin, and there's consequences for that, and that from past to present, that reigns still today. The Lord has the right to discipline us, whether you're a believer or not. If you're a believer, you may get disciplined because of your actions, of what your choices are in your actions, or what you decided, or what's your non-action. If the Lord said move to the left and you decided not to move to the left, there's a lot here. I know we're going to go way over today, I think, because it reminds me of something that I've always thought about in my life too, how I know for myself, raised with a family that did go to a church at least 2 to 3 times a week, like Sunday morning, Sunday evening, Wednesday night, right? Not every single, but at least average about 2 times a week at least. It was one of those things that I was very young, and is when I felt the Holy Spirit, right? And I could give my whole thing about it, but I'm just going to try to keep it short because we've got a lot to go over. And so I was shown 2 different things. I was shown at that time I was shown at that time that I could have it all and be successful and super successful and be worldly, or I could follow him. I could follow me, follow the Lord. And I chose to follow the Lord. And I understood the fact that it wasn't going to make my life easier. And we'll understand that too. It can be fulfilling, which makes our life, okay? And so that's one thing that I was also thinking about, as well as just there's a lot here. There's a lot here, and just one thing to think about. Another thing to think about is the fulfillment and the love of the Lord. And so there's a couple of things that were on my mind, but we need to continue. So what kind of thoughts or feelings come to your mind about this? How does it make you feel, and what does it make you think?